Hello, and welcome to the I Love You Bet podcast. I'm Heather, and this is my sister,
Rian. Each week, we will revisit relics of our childhoods using our multiple master's degrees
to critically evaluate the crap that consumed our misspent youth. So join us,
sisters, latchkey kids, cuspers, and lazy feminists as we look back at our past to say, I love you, but...
Hey, Ryan, what'd you waste time on this week?
I spent a lot of time throwing up on Saturday,
That's not
which was
cool.
very unpleasant.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but from about 4 p.m. on Saturday afternoon to about midnight, I just was it was like a fucking vomitorium. I'm still like a little sore from it. I have no idea what was wrong. So
it's not great.
That was a really big, huge waste of my time. So then like the next day I was like all tired and like drained and empty, like literally.
Yeah. And that impacted you didn't watch the movie all the way through, right?
I didn't finish the movie this week, and that was part of it. Yes, that was the initial reason I didn't finish it. So whatever, what have you. Also because I wanted to go hang out with friends.
Okay.
So I also went to a bar for 4 hours, so I wasted time doing that.
That's good. Did you have a nice time?
It was fine. How did you waste time this week?
Well, I want to talk about something I wasted time on a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay, cool.
So a couple weeks ago, I actually had some time to myself, and I was like, I want to watch some movies. What am I going to watch? So I went over to good old Hulu, which can be really good for little indie films and smart films and stuff like that. And I watched The Boston Strangler.
Oh.
I watched The Boston Strangler one night, and I watched She Said the next night. So they're both films about women journalists, investigative journalists.
Okay.
Set in very different time frames.
Yeah.
The Boston Strangler, it was sort of, a couple of women who were uneasy accomplices. Very much but the kids are here and you have to cook and you can't go out. And I mean, not a little bit, her husband tried to be pretty understanding, but definitely as it went on and she got more and more sort of obsessed with the work, with the writing, the investigating, he became less understanding. And then by contrast, in She Said, you have these two New York Times writers in the 2000s, the 2020s, I think, or late 20-teens, who broke the Weinstein story for the New York Times. And all of the acting everywhere was absolutely superb. And
nice. Okay.
They're all good stories that are important, and I highly recommend everyone watch these movies. Of course, with She Said, there was a little bit of the sort of gender roles, but it was backed way off, where there was definitely the expectation that the men were going to help, right? One of the characters kind of, I think it was in this one, struggles with some postpartum depression, and it seems like maybe the Weinstein thing kind of plays into that. But it has what is now my favorite scene of any movie of all time ever.
Oh, geez. Wow.
So this is a spoiler if you haven't seen it. It has absolutely nothing to do with Harvey Weinstein. It's about halfway through the movie, and the two reporters are at the bar with their editor or mentor or somebody's there with them. And they're just sitting there and they're talking about, well, we're stuck on this and we're stuck on that. And this guy comes up. He's like, oh, can I buy you a drink? And they're like, no, we're busy. Oh, blah, blah, blah. So no, we're fine. Please go away. Well, you don't have to. And Carey Mulligan goes, fuck you. Oh, well, you know what I would do? I would turn you around. Fuck you. Fuck you. She just starts screaming fuck you at him. And like, Yeah. And the other characters are kind of looking at her, and he finally leaves. And she's like, I'm sorry. And they're like, you don't need to apologize. We know
Yeah.
exactly why that happened. I was just like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
fuck off. Fuck off. If someone
Yeah.
tells you no, they mean no. They're not being cute. They're not being coy. They're not playing hard to get.
Coy. Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
saying no. Women should
Yeah.
be allowed to go anywhere they want to go and have conversations with other women without being harassed by men. It's not
Yeah. We
cute.
don't
It's
fucking
not
owe you
funny.
anything.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
No one has to be kind to you.
Yeah. No, it was,
God damn it.
yeah, that sucked. So,
But it was kind of awesome too.
no, yeah, it kind of was like, this is amazing. Like, I don't typically get unwanted attention from men for a number of reasons. I pretty much have like a fuck you vibe that just comes
Yeah.
across, you know, and I
You have
am
a
not.
fuck you face.
I
It's
am
worse than a
definitely.
resting bitch face.
I mean, Carrie Mulligan in that movie definitely had a fuck you face, but I do not have that look of traditional Western beauty that is, you know, an invitation to be hit on, apparently. So that makes things a little bit
Yes.
easier, but also more complicated. How else did I waste my time? Well, I have to say a sad thing, which is our father passed away. And yes, we're recording a podcast a couple of days later. We knew this was coming. It was 16 months in the making. We knew.
Very
I
complex.
would just like to say, though, that through the process of his dying, which took several days, I discovered that the movie Weekend at Bernie's is a fucking lie. Because my dad is 6 feet tall, 189 pounds cancer weight, strong as an ox. Mom and I could not move him for anything. Like,
Yeah.
it was a problem because we needed to
Yeah.
move him. Now, granted, he was fighting us most of the time, so that was an added thing. But the
There's no way that
premise,
little scrawny ass
Yeah.
Andrew McCarthy was
yeah,
helping lug a guy all over a fucking
Yeah.
beach town.
yeah, fake news. Like, there's no fucking way. They would have been like stopping every 2 minutes and been like,
Why did we ever believe that that movie had any? Yeah.
I'm
Like,
not
why
certain
did that
I
movie
even,
ever?
I'm not certain I ever saw it, but I'm just going to tell you.
Oh, I definitely saw it.
I also sort of in my delirium. So dad was actually, you know, certifiably delirious. I just had a little bit of delirium because I was not sleeping for these several days. And at
Yeah.
one point, you know, I was trying to read dad from the Celtic book of the living and the dead, give him a nice passing, you know, because he thought he was super Irish. He wasn't super Irish. He was more Texas than anything, but whatever. So I'm reading this to him and I'm just murdering all of the Celtic pronunciations. Like, so bad. Like, I didn't even really try. I was so tired. It was bad. I mean, I got Cahulan just because that's one that like I've said enough times. I was like, okay, I got Cahulan, but then everything else, it was like, we're fit and river here. The you
It's
know,
like when Elliot thinks he's speaking Spanish.
yes, yeah, it
Doesn't
was
make
really
any
bad.
sense.
So between trying to reposition dad, rolling him on his side, lifting him, you know, all these kinds of things, and then my terrible, terrible Celtic dialects, I was thinking that it's completely infeasible financially, but I wish that they had a Make-A-Wish for caregivers, because I would have put in for Chris Hemsworth to just come and like pick my dad up and move him around a little, because he could have done it so easy, man. Like,
And
with
Mom
a
would have been so
smile.
happy.
I don't know if Mom even knows who Chris Hemsworth is, but you know, I'm sure
I
she would
think
have been.
she would have been happy.
He's
Yes.
tall. She would have liked that. she
Yeah.
likes the
He
height.
doesn't have freckles, does he?
I don't know. That's a weird.
Well, hopefully not. If he has freckles, you'd have to get somebody else. You know how
She
she feels
is-
about freckles.
She is anti-freckles. It's true. I don't think he's
Yeah.
freckly, but I can't. I haven't made a study of it. I'll put it that way. I mean, it could be anybody really strong, but I was like, well, he's the first person I think of because like his arms in Thor: Love and Thunder were ridiculous. And then I was like, okay, and also I would wish for Michael Sheen to read this fucking book to my dad because he's Welsh and he would get all the goddamn names right and it would sound really beautiful and I could enjoy it too instead of just being stressed about how I'm getting all the names wrong and not feeling adequate as a daughter. So yeah, there was a lot of feelings of
Do you really
inadequacy.
think Dad could have pronounced any of those names?
He actually, so when he got into his Irishness, he went on the internets and spent a lot of time learning how to pronounce things properly.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess I remember vaguely him trying to learn to speak Gaelic.
Yeah. But he gave me like the Lady Gregory translation of the Cahulan stories, fables, whatever they're called. Because he was like, I want you to write it as a screenplay. And I was like, well,
Oh,
so
I remember that. Yeah.
this man blushes when women take their shirts off and then can't do battle. And I mean, Marvel's gotten a little weird, so maybe I could go in that direction. But at the time, I mean, this is probably like 10, 15 years ago. Like, I don't know. But I had the hardest time with it because I like needed to rename all of the characters so that I knew who they were. Because if I can't pronounce the name in my mind, it's really hard for me to read it because then I'm like, I'm like, everybody can't be and that's not. So
it's not
that
like
was
one of those movies.
Right. And so that was actually, I never really, I mean, I watched Game of Thrones up to the Red Wedding episode and then I stopped. I had no interest in it at all after that. But I watched every episode of, what was the one that JVN did? So he was like a hairdresser and he would do like a recap of Game of Thrones and he just renamed all the characters.
Oh, I don't know. I never got into.
It's fine. So he like renamed Emily Clark's character.
Like Gay of Thrones or something?
Gay of Thrones, maybe. I don't know.
There was something gay in there.
Something gay. So anyway, he renamed Amelia Clark's character Christina Aguilera, which was great because every time he said Christina Aguilera, I knew exactly which character he so he would like rename them into things that I was like, I know who that is. I know who that is. And so I could actually like follow along and it was funny and it didn't, make my stomach hurt. So anyway, that's kind of what I need to do at some point because I either need to learn how to pronounce the names properly so that I know what I'm reading, or I just need to have like a legend where I have the name and then I can translate it into something that makes sense to the character. What'd you do?
It was called Gay of Thrones. I just
Gay of Thrones. Okay.
That's Yay right. Me.
Good job.
I mean, and I guess like I think that we should say too that like Dad was the one that kind of got us into movies. Like I feel like that we like movies because of Dad.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Mom mushed old movies, but he was the one that would like take us to the movie theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Mom was out of town, she didn't know what the fuck else to do with us for like.
Correct.
Yes. Like, well, here's 2 hours I can kill.
I just have to get them safely to the movie theater and then home.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Dad definitely. I mean, that's why I wanted to interview him for that Father's Day episode too, because he's a huge influence, not only in the fact that we like movies, but definitely the movies that we have seen. Like, if it weren't for my dad, I would have never seen The Right Stuff, let alone multiple times. And, I can always recall fondly him lying on the couch and we're watching The Yearling and he just slips his sunglasses on because he's crying and he doesn't want us to know. And all of that kind of fun stuff.
Toxic masculinity, Dad.
I know, it's a problem.
But it was the 80s, so.
I mean, he's the reason that Poltergeist was my favorite movie when I was like 6 or 7. I walked in on Clockwork Orange when I was way too young. It was the scene where the Droogs are beating up the homeless guy, and that definitely left an impression. So, yeah, you never knew quite what you were going to get if you walked into the living room and Dad was watching a movie. But he definitely loved all different kinds of movies, and was really mad at mom because she didn't like 2001 A Space Odyssey, and was really mad at me because I didn't like Apocalypse Now, and insisted that we didn't understand them, even though we told him exactly what the real meaning is and blah, blah, blah. Like, well, you just don't appreciate them, evidently. So we both think they're boring as fuck.
Yeah. Speaking of boring as fuck, in a movie that I never would have seen were it not for Dad,
Yeah.
what are we talking about this week?
Raiders of the Lost Ark, baby, 1981.
Oh, Jesus God.
First, I got to do a correction. I don't know if you remember when we announced that we were going to do this as one of our summer blockbusters, and I was like, it's the sequel. The first one was Temple of Doom. Nope, you were right, 100%. Raiders of the Lost Ark was the first one.
I'm sorry, wait a minute. Can you say that one more time, just a little bit louder?
I was wrong, and you were right.
Oh my God, I got the double whammy. Whew! Woo! Wow.
What do you remember about it, Ryan Davis?
Hold on, I need a minute. I need a minute to bask. I need to bask in this moment.
My dad died. You have to be nice to me.
My dad died too! Of course, you had to deal with it. I just like flew in 2 days later, like, hey y'all, what's up?
Let's go to lunch.
Let's go to lunch. Let's go crack jokes at the crematorium.
We're not the crematorium.
Well, I don't know what else to fucking call it, because if I say the name of it, they're gonna be like, "That's a cult." Is it a mortuary?
Sorry. I don't know what they officially call it. It's death services. That's what I like to call it.
Okay, at the death services office.
And nobody wanted to pay at least $2,500 to shoot Dad into space, which seems like a real loss, but that's okay.
There were so many options. I got so excited when they were like, here's our price list. I was like, oh, what can we buy? I could literally buy anything anywhere. Like, Ben takes me to like Harbor Freight or like, I don't know, Ace Hardware, and I'm like, I can find something to buy.
So can your child.
He inherited that from me.
That's right.
What do I remember about Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yeah, that came out the year you were born. I apologize.
Well, Nazis.
Nazis, is that all you got?
That's all I got.
All right. I mean,
obviously Harrison Ford, but Nazis was all I wrote down.
I said, honestly,
and even then I was kind of like, it was more like Nazis?
Nazis? Yeah. I said, honestly, nothing. This might be the one with the giant rock, but maybe because it's a theme park ride, so I recognize it from that. Is this the one where he shoots the guy? Because he's like fighting and he was tired, so he shot the guy. I wrote Nazis! ! And face melting ? Turns out all of those things were in this one. I got it right. So, hooray.
Oh, the face melting was? Because there's face melting in Last Crusade, too.
Yeah, but this is the OG.
Oh, the original face melting.
Yeah. Where like they other visual effects artists were like, did you do that? We want to do that. So everybody copied it after that. Would you like my 1-sentence synopsis of Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yes.
Raiders of the Lost Ark is the least realistic portrayal of academic archaeology ever. She's silently laughing. I don't know why she thinks she can't laugh. We got a new.
I'm not silently laughing. I'm loudly laughing.
It was
Can
not.
You not hear me?
No.
Oh, I was cackling.
No. You throw your head back. It's all gone.
You'll get it in my recording then.
Awesome.
I'm almost positive that our friend Vicky became an archaeologist because of Indiana Jones.
Are you serious?
If not her, someone.
Kyle.
But
I see you, Kyle Mullins. No, that's cool. That's awesome.
I want to get. How do we get Kyle Mullins on the podcast one day?
I don't know. Get him drunk and ask him. He'll show up.
I mean, we can't just get like a third Zoom person. He can't Zoom in with us.
He can. We can do that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. But the next thing I wrote was, "All right, Alfred Molina." And then he fucking died, and like I was like, how did his name get on the screen? And then he dies in the first 15 minutes.
Let me tell you something about Alfred Molina, ! Which is what I wrote.
You put the exclamation points on this one.
Because Alfred Molina, I love him. It was
And
his
Nazis.
first. It was his first film. The number
How
of
did he
British, the number of white British people in this movie pretending to be brown people, not British, pretty distasteful. But
I didn't
all
even write
very
it down.
talented. All very talented British people. They covered him in real live tarantulas, so he deserved to have top billing. As far as I'm concerned, should have been first. He also
I
did
was just like, okay, cool. And then he fucking died. I was like, there must not be that many people in this movie.
There were a lot of people in this movie. There were not a lot of people who had dialogue in this movie. There was a whole lot of non-speaking parts.
Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of people screaming for no reason. That was really, really funny. I thought it was cute how they had the little mountain match after the title. You know, they had the like Paramount Mountain and the real
Paramount,
mountain.
Yeah.
I was real confused by the jungle soundtrack that was going on at the beginning. So you had like John Williams' score and then like fucking most standard ass jungle noises ever. Like, I don't know. And then like when the dude uncovered the stone face and then he started screaming, I mean, it was a stone face. Did you need to run away?
What were you screaming about? Yeah.
That was really weird to me. I deeply love the shadow reveal with the 5 o'clock shadow on Harrison Ford. You know, that was.
It took like 10 goddamn minutes. We're just like following this guy's footsteps.
That's right. But you know, he's important because you can't see his face. Okay, am I crazy or like 8 years ago, were there not a whole bunch of sorority girls who dress like Indiana Jones all the time? Did I make that up?
No, it was Han Solo.
Han Solo, that's who they dress like.
Is the Han Solo look with like the big vest and the like boots, knee boots, like riding boots. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the Han Solo.
I thought it was very interesting.
It'd be weird if they all dress like Indiana Jones.
I don't know. It was. I don't know.
I remember when our high school mascot was Indiana Jones.
Yeah, we talked about that before. That was problematic because we were the Raiders and the Raiders of the Nazis. So we couldn't be the Raiders and have our mascot look like Indiana Jones.
I feel like Indiana Jones was also kind of raiding some shit. Like he didn't have any ownership of any of that.
No joke. I have a lot of questions. So I now need to I should have started the episode with this, but listen, if you love this movie and it's dear to your heart and you can't hear a single word against
Turn this off.
You need to stop right now.
And you're still listening?
You're just going to fucking hate us. If you love this
movie and you're still listening, turn it off. Turn it off.
I have a lot of problems.
Write us a really angry email.
That's right. Tell everyone how much you hate us. I have a lot of problems with this movie, but before we move on, I would like to do you remember in high school?
No. Yes. What?
In theater, we'd get those ambiguous dialogue scenes where it'd be like they were super open to interpretation, so you could kind of put whatever emotion or character onto them that you wanted, and everybody could read them differently depending on how. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Let's here.
Pretend I remember it. Okay, cool.
Here we go. This is actual dialogue in action from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I would like for you to tell me what kind of movie it sounds like. Are you ready?
Well, I already know.
Okay, well, whatever. They're following us. If they knew we were here, they would have killed us already. The sound of a whip. Gunfire. This is it. This is where Forrestal cashed in. A friend of yours? A competitor. He was good. He was very, very good. Senor, nobody's come out of there alive. Please. Senor, stop. Stay out of the light. Screaming. The whip cracks. A grabs B by the belt and embraces him. Let's hurry. There's nothing to fear here. A shoves B against the wall. That's what scares me. Stay here. If you insist, senor. He winces, and there is reverent kneeling.
Porn.
Sounds like porn, right? I went back and rewatched.
You definitely put some intonation. You were not being completely like, if you insist, senor.
I was completely being like, if you insist, senor, crack that whip, shove me against a wall. No, I was supposed to take the ambiguous dialogue and put my interpretation onto it. And my interpretation is that shit sounds like fucking porn. Like, Jesus Christ.
I'm sure you can find a porn version of Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't even think they would have to change the title.
Raiders of the Lost Ass. No, I couldn't. It was
my question is, how much was he paying homeboy?
Was he paying him?
Was he? Right? Surely he had to be paying him.
I feel like the French guy just had more, like he had better funding because he could just buy more people, you know, like all of Indy's people ran away. But like the French guy, Bellic, right? He had all those people and they were like, we're going to shoot you with poison arrows. You have to stay here. Ha ha ha.
Also, but however.
Yes.
Did you notice, and I was impressed by this, that he had to do some like math there when he looked at the gold statue?
Oh, yeah.
And he like pulled some sand out of his bag. Like in his mind, he's like, well, gold weighs. How do you fucking know how much the sand? Like, come on, no.
How do you know? Is it solid gold? You don't know it's solid gold. Maybe it's empty on the inside.
It could be like a fucking like an Easter bunny, a chocolate Easter bunny. Where it's all hollow on the inside.
You got that shit at Dollar Tree.
Do you know how much sand weighs? Do you know how much of the bag that you put the sand in weighs?
Yeah, no, that was some total bullshit. It made him look smart, but if you think about it sciencey, it doesn't work. Like,
no, it doesn't. Yeah,
no, there's no way. There were too many tarantulas, right, Davis?
There was a lot of tarantulas, and they're just like,
yeah.
Like there was no like urgency in like batting the tarantulas away. Like, okay, cool.
Or Alfred Molina, I couldn't stand it. I hope he's made a bunch of residual off of this because damn. So, I mean, it would go from like being like kind of a little bit scary and real, and then like a skeleton would pop out and I would just start laughing.
Oh, God. Yes.
And then, you know, we got another shadow reveal with the 5 o'clock shadow. That kind of keeps happening. Then he did his little Flora's lava dance. That was real cute. Yes, dear.
Sorry, I'm skipping ahead. Otherwise, we're never going to make it through this movie.
You didn't watch the last half, so I think I'm going to carry us through this movie pretty well. I got pages.
Can you at least let me talk about pages? Oh my God. That seems like a lot of girls to be in college. A lot of women, I'm sorry. A lot of women to be attending college in 1936.
Yes. Unless how magically he was teaching at a women's college, but he did have the one little student who snuck that apple on the desk at the end.
He had the one male student. There were some male students in there. I was like, is this high school? Like, this seems like a lot of women.
One moment. What right do we have to be stealing shit from jungle caves?
No, but yeah, right? Well, it is 1936, remember? We didn't really care about...
That's true. I did like how when he went to teach, he put on his glasses and he was Clark Kent all of a sudden. The love you eyelid tattoos just freaked me out real bad.
Oh, writing I love you. I couldn't even read it. I had to look it up to be like, what does that say?
The next scene where the boring government, the G-men show up to set up the hero's journey.
Bureaucracy!
You know, they tried a whole bunch of cuts and camera angles, but that was just dry exposition among 4 white men, and there was no way getting around it. That's all that was happening.
No, basically the gist was God lasers.
Yeah, it would have been a lot faster way to say it.
That's the takeaway is like, if you find this thing, it will help you make dot lasers. Also, check out this giant suitcase I have that's actually a book.
It was a really big book. It's true. It reminded me of Evil Dead. I was enjoying the big book. He just got on a plane with a gun, no big deal. Like he used to do in the old days.
Yeah, I know. And I love how he's like, I'm super careful. Let me just throw this fucking gun in my suitcase.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Throw a handgun around.
I was very excited when he got on the plane and then they did the old map with the red line moving between
my God,
cities.
yes.
That was awesome.
I wrote, love a map showing the voyage. Love a map.
Then we have the introduction of Marion. And I did not like their dynamic. It felt like Love Story. I don't know if you never saw Love Story, right?
No.
She died, right? I don't know, probably. I had this awesome friend in high school who like viciously hated Love Story. I've never seen it, but she always would just be like, I love you, Preppy. I love you too, bitch. I was like, that is 100% their vibe.
Yeah.
I hate you. I hate you. I love you, but I really love you. The bullet sounds in that scene. Did you hear him a little pew pew? Little Star Wars sounding. Pew pew. And I don't know. I'm not the best at guns and math, but it did seem like Indiana Jones had far more bullets in that gun that it could actually hold. That scene, like, there was a whole lot.
He reloaded. You just didn't see it.
Apparently.
She's just like, I'm just hanging out running this bar here up in Nepal, keeping my money in a cigar box.
Yep.
What's up with you?
Drinking men under the table, and I hate you for what happened some time ago. I made a note later.
Did we find out?
No, so they never say. So one of the things that I think is interesting about this movie, I don't know that it's good or bad. I would just call it interesting. It feels like a sequel. The way that it all starts, where you almost feel like you're supposed to know about the whip and the whip is supposed to have some meaning, and the way that he's like, I hate snakes, like you're like, oh yeah, it's Indy, he hates snakes, and then
he's got an enemy.
Yeah, he's got an enemy. He's got this whole backstory with this girl that you don't know, where it feels like maybe in the first movie. So I just thought that was really strange. Like if they were trying to set it up from the beginning to do a prequel. You know what I mean? Like I found that very odd.
It makes sense when you think about George Lucas making episode 4, 5, and 6, and then
the terrible dialogue and the terrible romance definitely made me think of George Lucas. So that was for sure. I did like it when Marion said, "You can't do this to me. I'm an American." I thought that was pretty funny.
I like how Indiana just threw her ass all over the place.
Yes. Like, so I'm
gonna throw you in this fucking hay bale. I'm gonna throw you over here.
Yeah, I did make a note. He throws her around, like Rhett does Scarlet. Did these men learn everything about women from movies? Like, probably, yes. Yeah. Like, people don't act like this in real life. Like, nobody goes and throws someone around like a sack of potatoes. And then Indiana is gentler with that traitor monkey than he ever was with Marion, like, until the kissy scene. Like, yeah. Why are you going to be nicer to a traitor monkey than to your girl? Like, that is fucked. Bellic had a weird ass accent. I didn't like it at all. Yeah. Didn't like it. I do like how Indy is a dom daddy barking orders at everyone. That was pretty cute. I like how Bellic whatever thinks that he's going to pull one over on Hitler. Yeah. Oh, Bellic, I mean, it's still early. 36 is still early in the campaign. It's
so to
true.
speak.
Yeah.
You know, that issue of Life magazine that Homeboy was reading was the one where they like had Hitler's paintings in it.
Yeah.
And we're talking about what a great painter he was. So it was still very early in the conquest or the whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, oh, I'm gonna double cross Hitler. Like, good luck with that.
Hey, Ryan, you know what?
What?
I know a lot of snakes.
So I didn't even think about that. Oh man.
If y'all don't know, there's a thing called Kids Trap, and it's amazing, and you should definitely check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
About Marion in the snake scene, I think. Actually, no, this must have been after when they captured her, when Bellick got her. Yeah. I said, I feel like even a boss bitch in the 30s wouldn't have been so mouthy in that situation. Like, she really did not know when it was too much.
Yeah.
Speaking of Barbies, though, was Marion a Barbie? Why was Bellick dressing her up? And what was that dress? When did he buy it? Is he a fucking serial killer, sexual sadist?
Yeah. Like, it's beautiful. I'm like, that's not beautiful.
Yeah. I don't know.
That red pant, though, the red pant outfit when they were having that fight scene.
Yeah, that was cute. Yep.
So many skeletons.
I was so confused about how Indiana could fall on a full bed of venomous snakes and nothing, no bites, nothing got him. I also wondered what those snakes ate for thousands of years while they were down there protecting that thing.
Like, yeah, right. Yeah, kind of same.
Did they just wait for intrepid white dudes to fall down and just eat them? I don't know. Maybe. So many shadows shots. They needed to calm down. There was too much.
Yes. That
big thing that they took that looked like it was solid gold, there were like just the two dudes carrying it. And I'm like, no, not if it was solid gold. Weekend at Bernie's bullshit. I call bullshit. Like, no way. No way. Skeletal remains screamed at one point. I don't know if you saw that. That was great.
I did.
Yeah.
So many skeletons screaming. It was like that scene in Poltergeist.
At least in Poltergeist, there's kind of a reason. The snake coming out of the skull was legit creepy. That was a good one. I mean, so part of it, like, I respect the movie from the sense of like, from a sound effects and a visual effects perspective, there were things that they did that had never been done before, right? And so I give props, and they used tons of real stuff. Like there were no fake snakes. They were all real snakes. They were real tarantulas. Like,
I know a lot of snakes.
I was real pissed at Indy when Marion got stuck in the plane, and she was like, "It's stuck," and he's like, "Turn the thing." It's like, fuck you, Indiana Jones. She told you it was stuck. Listen to her.
I don't know. I feel like that's pretty on point for 1936. Like,
yeah, especially with Indiana Jones, who's really good at not getting shot. He got shot at a lot.
Yeah, he's really good at not getting shot.
Didn't get shot. Again, the score, beautiful score, doing all the work, doing so much work. I was concerned for the Egyptians because, man, these white dudes just all came in and tore all their shit down. Like, you know how long it took them to put up that scaffolding and shit, and they're just like, car chase through your shit. Like, that sucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock over all your baskets you're carrying.
I was real concerned about the MPAA not counting German swearing for the rating. So it's a PG rating, but I heard Scheisse a lot. Like, I
feel like in the 80s though, that could still get you a PG rating.
Well, that's possibly. The next thing I really liked was when the officer car wouldn't stop. So they're doing the big chase scene, right? And they're just like, let all the grunts die trying, and then maybe we'll bother doing something. But we're just gonna keep looking back and be like, did they kill him yet? No, okay, keep driving. props to Harrison Ford. He really did get dragged behind a truck, and that sucks. That's terrible. And ow.
Yeah.
I don't understand. So Hitler wants the thing to talk to God, the God laser, right?
Yeah. To make the god lasers.
Indiana doesn't believe in hocus pocus or whatever.
Yeah.
Why was he trying so hard to get the God laser? Because he doesn't believe that it's a God laser, but he's trying so hard to get it. Is it he just really doesn't want Hitler to have a thing that he doesn't believe will actually do anything? Or
he just wants it in the museum with found by Indiana Jones.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I was real confused.
If he didn't really want it, this movie would be a lot shorter.
That's true.
I think they call that a plot device.
His motivation to me was very confusing. I don't know. Marion kissing the married guy, the not Arab, the white guy Arab. Not sure. She should have been full mouth kissing. And then him acting all moony about it. Like there was all the like cartoony like violence and that kind of cartooniness and like I don't know. And then like,
nothing about this movie was believable in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think it's believable that many girls would sign up for a class if Harrison Ford were teaching it. I absolutely believe that.
Well, yes.
And then there would be some dudes leaving him apples. I believe that too. There was the comic timing with the mirror thing where like they were looking in the mirror and then she whacked him in the head and whatever. Like that was just off. I don't know. It's like the editing just got weird and bad. You know, I thought it was really cute with the like, where doesn't it hurt? And it was like cute and then a little sexy. But after seeing Working Girl and then this, Harrison Ford looks like a really bad kisser. I'm just going to say it. I don't think he's good at kissing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he's an asshole. I definitely think he's an asshole.
Oh, yeah. I think so, too. I think so. There was a point where they were like deep warbling. The God laser apparently was deep warbling. That made me laugh a lot. Spielberg apparently said that he made this as a B movie. And if that's true, it's great. For a B movie, it's great.
Yeah.
He also said that he thinks it's the best of the series.
No, sir.
Incorrect, Spielberg. You were wrong about your own movies.
Last Crusade. Last Crusade is so the best.
100% is Last Crusade. What good are pirates who are scared of guns? Didn't understand that at all. The number of times that Marion got traded, like...
yeah.
And again, I'm sure. Also, it bothered me. Everybody kept calling him Mr. Jones. Nobody called him Dr. Jones. That's not real. He would have been like, that's Dr. Jones. It's Dr. Jones to you. Dr. Jones.
I feel like they definitely call him Dr. Jones in the other ones. At least
good, because he earned that PhD.
Because he's like, Dr. Jones. That's the Nazi in the Last Crusade.
I might just have to cut that into the trailer.
Do you want to see your father again? Dr. Jones.
Dr. Jones.
Dr. Jones.
So these pirates barely know him, right? And then they're afraid of guns. And then at the end of this, they're cheering for him. Like, yay, he escaped. Are they the
pirates of Penzance?
Like, did you make out with them all night too? What happened? I thought maybe you're the reason.
Just charming.
Maybe people love this because he punches so many fucking Nazis, you know? I mean, that is a reason to love something. It's just Nazi punching. That's great. I was real confused because they got on a submarine and then they came out of the submarine and they were in more desert. It's like, it's just a faster way to get to more desert. What is happening?
Is this a sand submarine? Is this a sand marine?
I didn't understand. And then at the end, I didn't understand why they were tied up there. Like, why didn't they just kill them? Like, what? Like,
so many
bullshit.
Times.
Yeah, like, just fucking kill them. Like, why tie them up at the end? I don't understand. I will say that Harrison Ford looked at that arc more lustfully than he ever looked at Marion. Ever. Like, he
I feel like
wanted
that tracks. He
wanted.
wanted that, yeah.
Then I got real excited because there were ghosts. I put 2 exclamation points. And then I was laughing at the melting faces and the explosions. And then I know you didn't watch the end, but at the end, you know, they do recover the Ark, and they're
Yes.
triumphant. They go to Washington, and the G-men take the Ark and put it into deep locker storage. So, hearkening back to last week's discussion of apples and apples, whatever it's called.
Apples to apples?
Apples to apples. The Pentagon is risky.
Doing?
The Pentagon is risky.
Pentagon is risky. I don't think they're clueless. They got your God laser.
They were like, you know what, this isn't good. And then I thought, if this were Marvel, that would just be the setup for the next thing, because somebody's going to steal the God
100%.
laser and use it for evil. And like,
yes. Totally what they were going to do.
So really, that's about all I got. I mean, like I said, if you're still with us, God bless you. I really wanted to be excited. I wanted to be like, yeah, Indiana Jones, what the fuck, let's do it. And if I can think of it as a B movie, it's one of the best B movies I've ever seen. I enjoyed it a lot. But if I think of it as a real movie that won Oscars, I'd struggle.
Oh, God.
And also,
I don't know that someone could pay me to watch this movie again.
You know.
Like, obviously there's an amount, because, you know.
There's nothing to fear here. Shove against the wall. That's what scares me. Stay here. If you insist, senor. Wincing. Reverent kneeling.
Why are we doing this again?
Because it just makes me laugh. I was literally sitting there and I was like, this sounds like porn. This sounds like porn.
Did Zoom mess up? I was like, did Zoom mess up? And I go back to what is happening? Why are we doing this again? I'm
so tired. Just let me do it. I'm so tired.
I'm very tired and very hot in this closet.
Y'all, we think we fixed our audio issues, so hopefully this is the best sounding audio that we've had so far. Fingers crossed.
Took 10 years. 10 episodes. I don't know.
It only took about 5 months. 5 months, really.
5 months.
That's not so bad.
It's a learning curve.
Thanks, Prime Day, for making things slightly more affordable than usual. That's all I got. But hey, you know what? That's okay, because we got a couple of fun ones coming up back to back.
Woo!
We got that Grease and that Grease too, baby.
If you really want to know. I'm changing it up so we can't get sued.
Is that what you think you're doing? Hey, thanks. That's it for this episode of I Love You But. Join us next week when we discuss Grease is the word. What made you laugh? What made you cringe? How much did you hate us? What did we forget? What should we talk about in future episodes? Let us know. We want to know your thoughts. Find us on Instagram, and we're still trying Threads. I don't know. We'll see. Or email us at iloveyoubutpod@gmail.com. What? Thread's still a thing. It is. Yeah, it's still there.
Okay.
Listener email and comments may turn up in future episodes. Oh, hey, and if you do Shakespeare Sunday, I try every week to do a Shakespeare Sunday from the podcast on Twitter. So you can check that out too. Be sure to rate, review, and follow I Love You But wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for listening. I'm Heather.
And I'm Ryan. And we send you lots and lots of conditional love.